I am having the greatest day ever. Not. So I wake up this morning at 7 o'clock. I went to bed at like 4 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. So I get up at 7 o'clock because I need to do some yard work, and you're not supposed to do it after 10 a.m. or whatever because they don't want you to start a fire. And so I get up, I do the lawn, I'm cleaning up after stuff, and I'm like, why does my back sting? And I walk in the house and I look in the mirror and I'm like, I've got this horrible rash all across my back. My first thought was, shit, I'm so fucked. Because the medication I'm on, basically, or it's hard to explain, it can give you a deadly rash. May I point out that the first word was deadly? So I called up my doctor and they weren't in the office, and so I was like, crap, well, what am I supposed to do about this? Because the word deadly kind of means serious to me. So they eventually called me back, and I think I kind of weirded them out a little bit because I knew exactly when the rash appeared, like within 3 minutes, and I think that freaked them out a little bit. But so I got the really bad rash, and I'm like, crap, I'm gonna need to go to the emergency room. They're gonna want to do some detox thing or whatever to get it out of my system, blah blah blah. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So of course I go get my computer and I'm on Facebook. Makes sense, right? Well, I couldn't really do anything, so it's kind of just either waiting for it to get better or bad enough to go to the hospital, because I was kind of in an in-between thing. So yeah, deadly rash today, and then I'm supposed to be picked up by one of my friends not too long, and I'm a bridesmaid in her wedding, so, and I was like, great, I could have just died 3 days before my best friend gets married. Yeah, that's not gonna ruin the wedding at all. Yeah, it's been one of those days. And so basically I now have to go cold turkey off my meds, which is totally gonna screw up my mood more than it was before, because I'm like either bouncing off the walls or about to kill someone. There's really no in between right now, and it really sucks. So yeah, it's been a long day, especially only on like 3 hours of sleep. Yeah. I wish things like this wouldn't happen in my life, because lately they seem to be happening like every other day. So I finally got a truck like 3.5 weeks ago, and then it doesn't get in the shop till 2 weeks ago, and then they tell me it's gonna cost $1,500 to fix it, and I'm like, shit, that's gonna cost more than the truck cost for me to buy it, and I don't have that kind of money. And then I kinda, sorry, I kinda had a mental breakdown around that time. Had to be picked up by one of my friends at 2 a.m. I think I mentioned that in a previous video. But I just kinda lost it, and then found out my sister's doing worse. She's really, really sick, and they pretty much have convened the whole neurology department to try and figure out what to do with her, because they have no idea at this point in time. And yeah, I don't know about that. It's complicated, and then now I get this nice deadly rash, like my month couldn't get any worse at all. It's like, here, let's just give you hell for a life, and then here, let's slap a deadly rash on you so you freak your ass out. Great, right? Yeah, I'm sorry I'm ranting, but yeah. being in the ER is not fun, and I'm really glad that my doctor called me back right before we went to the ER, because it was, okay, first of all, being in the ER is extremely expensive. Second of all, I really don't like being at the hospital. I get super nervous. Like, I'm okay if I'm working, but if I'm not, um, when I work at the other hospital, and so if I have to go to the ER or something, I go to Hospital A, and I work at Hospital B. So, um, yeah, I don't go to the same ER as I work in, because I just kind of don't want them to know about some of the things that are happening in my life, and, because I don't want them to treat me different or anything, and it could just make things complicated, or make people gossip about me, or whatever. So I really hate hospitals, and the other thing I really hate is that you never know when they have cleaned that room the last, kind of thing, or when they have cleaned the waiting room, and I'm like, I'm not really germophobic, but I get extremely germophobic when I'm at hospitals, because I know what goes on, and I know that they don't clean those rooms really well as often as you think they do. I know because I clean those rooms at the other hospital. That's part of my job. And I'm someone who does a really thorough job. Like, I wipe off all the chairs, wipe off all the counter spaces, wipe off the handrails, and most of the time, people don't wipe off the handrails on the gurneys, and they don't wipe down the chairs in the rooms or the counters unless, like, there was blood on it or something. And I'm like, you know, I would rather take a couple extra minutes to clean this room to the standard I would want it cleaned if I were coming in here, because it's just common courtesy. And yeah, so anyways, that's why I don't like hospitals. That, and if you get stuck in the psych portion of the ER, it really sucks. Um, yeah, but with the rash thing, I wouldn't have been in the psych portion of it anyway. But yeah, going cold turkey off these meds might actually land me there, unfortunately. Um, or I might end up staying a few nights at a friend's house, because detoxing from something like that at a high dosage, from to really high going from a really high dosage to nothing, really sucks. It's like alcoholics who drink every day quite a bit, and then them not having anything to drink for a week, how they would go into detox and be cranky as fuck and all that shit. So, yeah, sorry I'm swearing a lot right now. I'm not having a great time in life, and people are like, you don't have that much to complain about, and I'm like, oh, really? Most of the time I don't complain. I usually keep my mouth shut and just write, but lately I've been slightly more vocal about it, and people are kind of judging me for that, and it's super irritating right now, because they don't know what I've been through. They don't know what it's like to live in my shoes. Tupac once said that, walk a mile in my shoes, and you'd be crazy too, with nothing to lose. And so yeah, it's one of the things I live by. That's why I try not to judge people. I mean, I appraise them. Like, I figure out, like, their worth and their character more than, and I don't judge them. Like, I don't jump to conclusions and things, and assume that they're horrible people or anything just because they do one thing. But I get really irritated when people do that to me, because I don't do that to people, and I don't think that's okay. Like, that's how bullying happens. They assume you're like something else than you really are, and so they pick on you. Most of the time, that's usually what it is. Yeah, I've been talking for way too long according to the number over here in my, right over here in my screen. So, yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, bye.